Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 603. I'm Laura, also known as Lola.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is the 23rd of January.
My goodness, where has this month gone?
Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns. And, I stopped working about 7 minutes ago, so I'm still trying to,
decompress.
Yeah. But, I don't have a ton to talk about. Well, I mean, I've got one thing to talk about, but really that's like it this week. I haven't done a ton of crafting otherwise. So, what about you?
I have been knitting on socks. So on Saturday, Leslie and I went to the Oxford Fiber Festival in Oxford, Mississippi, which is around, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes away from us.
Yeah, it's the home
each
of
way.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. I know that's not how you say it. That's how it's spelled. And also, I don't care.
Also, I don't care will now be the episode title.
I say that a lot. Anyway, so our friend Carol was driving us. Thank you so much, Carol. And Leslie and I both got to craft as we rode passenger-wise in the vehicle with our friend Carol and our friend Eloise. And so I got a sock done. So this is the first of a Knit Spin Farm. It's the last of the Little Known Holidays colorways that she did. She still has a club and it alternates between like farm life and nature, I think. The last colorway was absolutely gorgeous. That's what's gonna go on my needles next. But I also really love this one. So the first sock is done. The second sock is past the toe. It's on the foot now. I am knitting these on size 1 needles. This is a Targhee sport weight base. And I am just doing like socks on the plane basically without the cable. And on, it's 28 times 2, 56 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my first sock. And the second sock is right here. So that has been getting a good amount of progress. And then the second thing that I've been working on, I'm doing the Leslie life and just like shoving everything in one bag. I have been working on my Weekender Lights. Thank you. I was getting untangled. So both the ribbings are done.
You joined it in the round.
And it has been joined in the round. And it is actually knit inside out. So you knit every stitch except for 2 special stitches. But the purl side will be what's facing out. The yarn is another Crafty Girl. And now that I am past the ribbing, I went from size 1 needles up to size 2 needles.
Large.
So this is definitely going to be a long-range project. I am alternating skeins as well, and I'm using my stitch markers from Sharon, who's our friend. Isn't that a great?
Is that his face?
Yes. He is creative in clay and he makes amazing mugs.
Yeah.
But he had Katrinkles make stitch markers for him.
Nice.
And so Sharon is just keeping me company, which I love. So this has also become like Pearl's favorite thing to lay on in the world. But I have 2 balls approximately this size. I'm going to try to get at least an inch in a week. We'll see. An inch is taking me around an hour and a half.
Now that it's stockinette.
Now that it's stockinette. Before that it was taking longer. And on the larger needles. So not terrible, but not super fast either.
I mean, it's a finger and white sweater.
Yeah, and I don't, like, I'd like to wear it to fly away. But, or Maryland sheepin wool. But I'm not, like...
You also have other
pushing.
Sweaters.
Yeah. I'm not pushing. One funny thing that happened at Oxford Yarn Festival was I was wearing my green handspun sweater, and a woman came up to me and then told me it was Noro, and I said, no, I spun this, it's handspun, and she said, nope, it's Noro, and she walked away, which I'm like, I'm still processing that. I don't know how I feel about that quite yet. Because my hand spun sweater was much more expensive in
And
both time and products.
If it was Nora, it would have had an abrupt color change.
There would have been like peach over one move.
Love me some Nora, don't get me wrong, but they do have random abrupt color changes in their skins.
So Nora's dyed in the wool, and then it's spun, and it's where that single gets joined somehow. Usually there's a knot there too. But yeah, so those are the two things that I am currently working on. I would love to get. I have been knitting on my socks almost every day, so I'd like to get a decent amount of progress done on those. Maybe finish the second sock this week, but I'm not. I am going to, what happens with knitting this week. I'm not going to put stress or pressure on, and we are just going to see how it works out. So, yep, those are the things that I am working on. But you, that is a very pretty. Is that white birch?
I think so.
I'm 99% certain.
I don't remember. The ball is still in my purse. So I took a couple things with me to Oxford. Both were just stockinette at the time, but I cranked some tubes a few weeks ago, and the way that I tend to do them when I'm cranking them, if I'm not doing a folded hem, is I just crank somewhere in the range of like 80% of the yarn into one long tube, and then I'll split it. So that's what I did, was I cranked this into one long tube, and then I put a toe on either end, and then I just snipped one stitch and split it. And I'm adding ribbing at one end. I'll do probably 1.5 inches of ribbing, and then I'll put in a heel. I was actually talking to a friend about this, and like, I need to pay that lady who did the sock architecture book,
Laura Neal.
Yes, I need to like reach out to her and see if she will take a commission to invent an afterthought flap and gusset heel. Like, I will pay you if you can use your math brain and figure out a way to make this work.
Okay.
Because I would really like that. But I haven't yet. But yeah, so I'll put in regular short row heel, not short row, like how you do toes on socks. I'll put in a heel like that.
You're putting an afterthought wedge heel.
Yes, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Like Laura said, I think they're white birch. I don't remember the colorway, but and that's living in one of my Whimsy Stitches bags. And the other thing that I took with me was my Marsha P. Johnson hat. This is from Urban Girl. So
pretty.
I haven't been working on it a whole lot, and I think I figured out why. And it's not the yarn. I enjoy the yarn. It's that the only needles I happened to have handy at the time when I was moving from ribbing onto the stockinette was these little short, I think they're like 3 to 4 inch tips.
Knit picks tips.
And I don't like them. I don't like the way that I knit. I need a longer shaft on the needle. I need at least 5 inches, but ideally 6, because of the way that I grasp the needle.
And I don't think you're going to find that on a 16-inch needle.
I may not, right? But that's why
you can magic loop the whole thing.
That's why I haven't been knitting this as much, because I don't enjoy the short tips. So I need to just go through my size 4 box and see what else I've got that'll work. I can probably get 5-inch tips on a 16-inch needle, but I know I won't get 6-inch tips. Or I don't expect to. But yeah, I got about 1 inch of knitting since...
You can make a 20-inch needle.
I mean, this would probably go over 20 inches, so... stockinette.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move my progress marker here.
Like, I know Addie sells 20-inch needles, but I don't know about the tip length.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, ooh, that's about to come out too.
Mm-hmm.
It just pulled right out. I guess I'm glad it happened here and not while I was actually knitting it. But yeah, so this is from Urban Girl Yarns, and this is the Marsha P. Johnson. I think it was Pride last year colorway, and this is in one of my beloved Hikari handmade bags. I just love them because you can just continue stuffing things into them forever, it seems like.
They're your Mary Poppins bags.
Yeah. And then in my just different colored faces bag from Fat Squirrel, I've got my Bloom top. This is out of Camellia Fiber Company in the CFC flax linen silk.
Alpaca.
Oh yeah, flax alpaca silk, I think. No, alpaca linen silk, no flax.
Linen is flax.
Okay, well, it's labeled as linen. So
I think it's where it is in the process that determines if it's flax or linen.
Laura had a crappy day, so she's just gonna like
I did have a really crappy
correct
day.
everything.
No. I think that's what the difference between flax and linen is. It's where it is in like the process of making.
I have no idea. I know they're like it's a plant. Like that's all I can tell you about.
It's a bast fiber.
So I was thinking I might need to add length to this, but after like because now it's so long and the weight is pulling on it like it will normally when I wear it, I don't think I will.
You should put it on your dress form.
I don't think the needles are wide enough to go over. They're definitely not.
You could do barber cord.
I could, but I don't happen to have it right here. So, but yeah, so I've got, I want to say, like 20 more rows in the chart, maybe not quite that many, and then there's a little bit of short rowing in the back, and then some I-cord all around. So hopefully, because this week I'll actually have knitting time, hopefully.
When will you have knitting time?
I'll be able to get this done. Well, I won't. This only work on this damn thing. So
I was like, why will you have knitting time? I didn't know if you took a day off or something.
No, that would be lovely.
I know,
but no. I was thinking that earlier. I was like, I know I just came back from like 2 weeks off, but I really need a day off. I think it's because like this weekend I started feeling a little bit crummy when we got back from the Fiber Fest. I think it was just from being in the back seat for, an hour plus.
Did you eat your soup?
I did not, because I decided by the time that I got home, it had been just at room temperature for like 2 hours, and I was like, I wanted it, but I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
So I felt kind of crummy, and then all day Sunday I felt kind of crummy and was running a low fever, but still a fever. So I don't feel like I rested like I typically would on a weekend. So
I didn't see you besides Oxford this weekend. So
and I was working on this stupid thing. So
this stupid amazing thing.
So I did finish a thing, and it's this thing. I can't figure out which way to point because it's mirrored. So I will talk briefly about this. So I'm going to knock it over. I talked last week about having problems getting a bodice to fit over my curves and like tuck in the right ways in the different, spots of my body, and just not being able to make that work, right? And so I decided, like all great ideas, on the spur of the moment to just do this thing that then took my entire life for a week. So I'm linking to a pattern in the show notes. Our show notes are at TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com, and we put links to everything that we talk about if we can remember to do that. So there is a website called Bootstrap Fashion, and you can put in your measurements, and they'll send you a custom pattern. I think it's $26, and they'll send you a pattern and instructions for how to create your own dress form exactly to your measurements. Their instructions are a little sparse in some areas. So there was a great video that I found. It's also linked in the show notes, where there's a lady who has made 3 of them.
Oh wow!
And she did
like
a video
for herself.
For herself, yeah. And like in the course of a week, she's much better, like a much more proficient sewer than I am. But she did a video showing the different steps. It was very helpful, so I linked it in the show notes. But so this, I need to think of a name for her. I want it to be something like
Leslie Jr.
No, I want it to be something like a little old-fashioned and funny, but I don't know what yet. Like a Bertha or a
Blanche,
Gertrude or something like that, you know. But I don't know.
Like a Golden Girl name,
something like that. So, it's the pattern has you use a coat hanger stand, and PVC pipe. There's a PVC pipe down the center. You sew this little sleeve that it slides into, so that you can. It creates a stand. I mean, if you have a handy person in your home, you can probably make do, which is what I did. We have PVC just from leftover projects. And I took a stand that we used to use for studio lights, and now everything's mounted, so we haven't used it in years. So I sort of
repurposed it, gave it new life.
So she has got, it's probably hard to see. Well, maybe not right now. I did contrasting thread for the lines at the full bust, and for the under bust, this is the waist, and then the hip is down here. So like my measurements are 54, 47, 50, and 55 down here. So I did some contrasting.
I like
thread,
that idea.
So that if something is supposed to hit you in a specific place, you don't have to constantly measure to figure out where that place is. There are a couple spots where it's very, like, I could have taken a lot more time to make it prettier. For example, there are these armholes where there's some spots where it, like, puckers. And that's primarily because there are places in this where you're sewing a lot of layers together at once. And I decided that sewing the seams once wasn't good enough. So I made sure I did it wrong several times. In one particular memorable instance, I sewed it wrong 4 times before I figured out what I was doing.
You broke a bunch of needles too, right?
I did. I broke 2 different jeans needles, because this is upholstery fabric, and it's also got an inner liner that's upholstery fabric, because you need it to be really stiff, especially if you want to, like, pin things into it. So that's what I was doing the other day, was trying to pin some things into it. And I will say that stuffing it probably took as long as sewing it. It was...
Because you need to get it to your exact measurements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can't just buy polyfill and just shove it in. Like, it's kind of like prepping longer staple fiber. You kind of have to pull it apart to sort of fluff it, or it's going to end up lumpy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a lot of prepping like my knuckles in my hands or in my fingers are sore because I spent so long just like pulling and stuffing and pulling and stuffing. It took a lot of time. And
yeah, I think it's gonna be worth it in the long run.
I hope so. I downloaded. I'm a member of Cashmerette. I'll try to remember to put a link in there when you start talking about your spinning. But there's a company called Cashmerette, and that company builds full bust adjustments into their patterns. Mm-hmm. It's primarily for larger busted people. They do have sizing for quote straight sizes as well, but it's mostly geared towards the fuller figure. So I'm a member of her like club. It's sort of like Patreon, but it's not on Patreon. And so you get like a free pattern every month, plus you get access to all of her
tutorials.
Yeah, lectures on how to do this and how to do that. And she's really great and approachable. So I downloaded a pattern I'm going to try, because I've tried to get this bodice pattern for the hinterland to work for so long. I think in my brain, I just don't think it's going to work, and so everything isn't working. So I'm going to try a new pattern.
Yeah.
And see.
Step away.
If that
and
makes
then
a
go
difference.
back.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you have suggestions for a name, that'd be cool. It's taller than I am, which is a little bit insulting. Like, I can't lower it enough so that it's the same height as me. It's at least like 3 inches taller than me.
We need to get you a stool.
No, it's a little annoying.
Aww.
I am a short individual, so.
Aww.
Overall, I would recommend it. I would say it's doable even for someone who's relatively new to sewing, provided you've sewn and ripped out things before. If you follow the video that I've linked in the show notes, it really is. It is doable. But like the lady in the video says, you got to take breaks and not make yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Like I did. So.
Well, taking breaks is important.
That's it for what I accomplished this week. It's one thing, but it is a big thing. So. Big thing. So, all right, you've got a bunch of spinning, right?
No, I don't.
Wait, there's a bunch of spinning.
Yep, there's one thing that I have.
Oh.
The rest is still on the bobbins.
Okay, well, I'm going to link the cashmere thing while you're talking.
Do it. So I have one finished skein, which I will show you, which actually I finished last week, but it was still drying. And then I am still spinning on the hip strings from the folds, the merino silk flax blend. And I finished the singles for Wolfiend, the fiber morsels, but I did not get a chance to ply because I've been working on a sweater spin. But because that's still on the bobbin, I'm like 6 ounces into a 6.5 ounce, spin. I was trying to get it done, but we recorded pretty early. But anyway, this is Thunder Rainbow After the Storm. It was a monthly bat club from Knit Spin Farms, 6 ounces.
Mine is currently in my trunk.
And, yeah, it's 375 yards of a 2-ply. It's a Cordale, Rambouillet, Shetland, Sari Silk Noil blend. It's really pretty. It's going to go, all my Joanna Spins... all my Joanna Spring Knit Spin Farm stuff for the most part is in like one giant bin, and eventually I want to do like a fade type sweater out of it all, or the ones that at least go together. So yeah, that is the spinning that I have done. Next week hopefully I will have a good bit of a sweater spin to show you all. It's not...
What is this sweater spin? Do I know anything about it?
So it is Cordale. It is a tester bag from Hello Yarn. So Hello Yarn, when she was testing out like new club colorways, she'd do like a whole pan, and then if she didn't like it, this is like 5 years ago, she would sell off like the tester lots. So this is like 13 ounces of Cordale. So it's not going to be, what I would like it for is a sideways crop sweater. But I will have to get row gauge ands. I will have to get both types of gauge for it to work. So I did not sample, which is not something that you're supposed to do, but I'm just gonna spin this, and if it works for that, that would be amazing. If not, I will use it for something else. Yep, it would be great for like one of Shayna Lyons Designs patterns. Hopefully, like, it will work for something. So I thought about sampling, and then I was like, nope, I'm just gonna do it. So it's purples and greens and blues, very whatever, like my colors. And I would love to knit 3 hand spun sweaters this year. So we'll see if
You knit 2 last year, right? Or did you knit 3?
What did I knit last year?
You knit the Nim Teasdale thing, right? Didn't you knit that?
Nim Teasdale does shawls. Oh, I need to get my shawl bag from you too.
Yeah, it's downstairs.
Leslie stole knitwear from my hand spun knitwear from my house. What did I knit? I knit the Shayna Lyons Designs Recalibrate and hand spun. I knit the sweater that I was wearing on Saturday and hand spun.
There's a cropped one.
The Tiff Nealon one?
Tiff Nealon, that's who I'm thinking.
That was the year before.
Oh, okay.
So that one I feel like I finished in December of the year, or fall of the year before. So that is handspun though. And then I feel like I have one more out of handspun, maybe? Maybe not.
I don't remember.
I have spun for a Flex Light. Like, I have a sweaters lot for Flex Light, and I have a sweaters lot that I spun for the Rocket Tee. But I haven't knit either of those yet. Those are already spun. So we'll see. There's a pattern by James Watt that our friend Malia had. That's worsted weight that I would like to spin for. I might do that one out of a Hello Yarn, like her bits and pieces bag. Her patchwork kits. I have a patchwork kit in my stash that I found the other day. And I have half of another one. So
not surprised at all.
I could combine them for that. And then he just did a new pattern that I also like. That one is sport weight. So if this Cordale comes up a little bit heavy, I could also use it for that one. And that one uses Noro. And sport weight. 2 different colors. So I think that's very doable as well. And I have some fleece sweater spins that I started. So yeah. That is all my spinning. Lots of dream, like what I would like to spin. But I'll go home tonight and spin some on the sweater spin. Yep. So, yay spinning. But only that one finished thing to show y'all. That's very chill. I have been still listening to the Hidden Legacy series and watching Will Trent's.
Yeah, I don't know what Will Trent, but I was listening to you and Eloise talk about it. I'm guessing it's some sort of like murder.
Yeah, it's based on a book series, and it takes place in Georgia, and it's yeah, like a Columbo type mystery.
You guys were talking very passionately about it.
I'm enjoying it immensely.
Okay.
You are welcome to come over and watch it, although we have Drag Race to catch up on.
I'm not a big murder.
I know you're
show
not.
fan. Like, so I'm still reading The Heretic Royal. Like, I am really eking it out. I think I'm only like 70% done with it. And let's see. That's like last night I started reading it, but I wasn't feeling well. I went to bed at like 8:30.
I did too.
Did not feel.
We were
good.
supposed to record last night, and I was like, I'm not leaving my house.
Yeah.
And then I went to sleep. I was playing Wingspan on my Switch.
Kobe and I have been replaying Pikmin.
How fun.
But yeah, I'm sick to death of cleaning off dirty, muddy puppy paws. And Carly thinks it's a game. So
of course she does.
When I come towards her with the towel, she's like, "Yay!" Lays on her back, and just puts her feet.
Have you seen those things that you put their paws into?
I've got one of those.
How's that working?
I haven't tried it because I don't know where it is.
Ah.
Laura's talking about. I got mine on Amazon, but I'm sure you can get it other places. It's like a cup, like a sort of a big plastic cup, and inside of it, it's got these like rubber little finger things. You put water in it, and then you wash their paws off.
I do not have one for Pearl because Pearl is a dainty princess who doesn't like
she doesn't let you touch her feet.
She doesn't like people touching her feet. So, and she cleans her feet herself. Thank you very much.
I mean, good for her.
Yep.
Carly doesn't. She just jumps on my beige sofa.
Yeah.
And like, I'll even make sure to put like a sheet over it and tight and tuck it in, but she jumps on it so often she pushes it.
Oh,
like,
wow.
So, anyway. I'm listening to You Just Need to Lose Weight and 19 Other Myths About Fat People by Aubrey Gordon. Aubrey is the co-host of Maintenance Phase. I was going to save this for my plane ride to Vegas, but I had just finished and really had to force myself to finish the Scott Siegler series, the one that starts with Infected, because it became very like military towards the end. And
Those are not your faves.
It's just not the kind of It's like I like space operas, but if it's mostly about military battles, then I don't care.
Oh, I did read a series. So the woman who wrote the Starfig Investigations series,
Megan Maslow.
yeah, she's got another series. Did you know that?
I don't know what's it called.
I don't know,
Okay.
but I read that.
Well, the You Just Need to Lose Weight and 19 Other Myths About Fat People is very good. It's a book that if you want to be an advocate for fat people, or if you yourself are a fat person and you want to have
Demons in the Details and Cat's Chance in Hell.
I haven't seen
You
that.
might like those.
Um, if you want to advocate for yourself or someone else, this talks briefly about these 20 different things, and it gives you suggestions and ideas of conversations you can have with people who, have bring these sorts of topics up in your life. So I'm really enjoying it, but I really enjoy Aubrey. I would 100% be like a stalker if I lived anywhere near her, but I don't.
You sound so disappointed.
She's in Portland.
No, that's where they're moving Plyway to.
Mm. But yeah, big fan of Aubrey Gordon in Maintenance Phase, and this is her second book, and the first one that she's narrating, so
Oh, cool.
that makes it better.
Excellent.
As far as favorite things, we're letting vendors, SSK vendors, know today, and we're still waiting on contracts. We should be able to talk about them next week, hopefully. And of course, we have more people that wanted to come than we have spots, so there are a few that we're not able to accommodate this time. But
which always makes me sad.
Yeah, it does. But things are coming together for that, so I'm excited. I don't have anything else. Like, my brain just
Oxford was tons of fun.
Yeah, Oxford
we
was
got
great.
to see String Theory Color Works, which was great.
Yeah, Caitlin and her husband, whose name I've forgotten. But
and they do amazing 3D printed boxes as well as gorgeous self-serving yarn.
I told him he needs to create a water bear.
So silly.
3D printed box, because I would purchase that. Also, I like to tell people how to run their business, apparently.
That's a very niche.
Yeah. But I figured, like, if he's a nerdy guy who has a 3D printer and likes nerdy stuff, and he had an axolotl, so I thought, okay, you're a nerdy guy, I can identify with you. I'm like, you need a water bear.
Did he know what it was?
Yeah, he knew exactly what it was. And then Caitlin was like, yeah, we need the water, because I don't know if you know what a water bear is. It's like this microscopic bacteria. I don't know what it's classified as, but it's got all these little, like, suction cup arms. And Caitlin was like, yeah, it could be like knitting in one hand, crocheting with another, and like, it's like, yeah, like an octopus sort of. So
there you go.
Maybe there will be a water bear event
in your future,
or thing at SSK. All right, that's all I've got. So we hope you guys have an awesome week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.